Alright, so here's my one-handed last 10 pieces flowchart, or I guess the progression chart that I recommend following. So firstly, learn your DFDB recognition. There'll be a link in the description for that, and if there's enough demand, I might even make a video for that. After that, one-handed CMLL. It's important because with CMLL, the two-handed version, you might get some wide RUD algs, which aren't really good for one-handed CMLL. So, for example, the alg I just did, that is not a very good one-handed CMLL alg. And you also would like to know what edges your CMLL will orient, and that's basically the next progression after CMLL, and it's pretty important. And after you know which one it orients, you also want to know generally how it permutes the edges and like whether it affects FD or not. I don't know of any algs that affect BD, so you don't really need to care about BD, but algs that affect FD are kind of important to know of. And basically whether generally most pieces stay on you or whether they go to the bottom and other things like that, that's also pretty important to learn from CMLL. After that, EOLR is important, and EOLR is basically just a way to solve edge orientation and your LR edges at the same time in D. So for example, with this, my EOLR would be that into M, U, and then M2, which will finish. This is my EOLR after the M, and then my AUF, and M2 will solve my 4B. So then after that, you just do 4C, which then leads to misoriented centers DFDB, which I just did there. Because some EOLRs will lead to misoriented centers instead of oriented centers, and the recognition is a bit different, and it's preferred to do it optimally than not optimally, so it is important to learn a recognition system for that as well. After that, or maybe even during your other steps, it's also kind of important to know how to Eidos. Eidos are pretty good because it makes your LSE nearly as fast as it is in two-handed. So Eidos are basically just U2 flicks, or like U2 in one motion. So you'd want to do in both directions, U2 and U2 prime. And after that, earlier on I said that you'd want to know what EP or CMLL does, like in general. And after all of that, you'd preferably want to learn what your EP does exactly. I haven't done that yet, but I know it will save about 0.2 seconds to my LSE, which is gonna be quite substantial in the future when I get a bit faster. And after that, it might even be more worth it to do your EOLR before you do your CMLL, to avoid losing some of your good EOLR cases to EP. So for example, you might have a good arrow, and then after soon you have a bad arrow, and you might want to do your good arrow EOLR before you do your soon. So it works for some algs, and it's actually pretty useful to know. So that's what I recommend learning, and in theory that's going to be really helpful. So basically that's kind of the order that you want to follow for one-handed last 10 pieces, and that's the order that I personally would recommend doing, and it should really lead to good improvement.